Hey,
How's it going, Mark?
yo, it's going good, Mike. How are you?
Doing good, man. Appreciate the time and won't keep you for too long, but give me 1 second here.
For
Cool.
sure.
Cool, man. So I wanted to get into the album and talk about the tour a little bit, but let's start with the chicken or the egg. Which came first? The collab with David Drainman and Angel's song or the tour?
Nice. The collab came first. It kind of all sparked from, I think, us slowly building a connection with them. Actually, over the past 10 years, though, Dan would actually come to smaller shows. I think he came to his first one 2013 or something when he was doing Fight or Flight.
Okay.
Sort of this side project spinoff. And he would come there and insist on buying merch, wouldn't accept, wouldn't allow us to accept his money, gave me a wad of cash and said, go buy yourself a nice meal. Super sweet,
Wow.
especially at that time in our career. Really genuine, awesome dude. So fast forward from there, we did a tour with them in 2016. That was awesome. It was us, Chevelle, and Disturbed, and that was a blast. So yeah, just kind of got to know each other over the years. So when we were doing this record, kind of the content of the Angel song is right up David's alley. And it's like, oh man, this is almost like militaristic as far as the rhythm cadence for the verses. And it's like he would just knock it out of the park. So reached out and he was absolutely interested and crushed it. So from then, he came out to do a show with us in Aftershock last year, which was a lot of fun. And then I think we found out maybe right after or a bit earlier, I can't remember which came first, but that we got this tour for
Amazing.
their 25-year anniversary of the Sickness album, and so stoked about it.
Going back 10 years ago, was Dan hanging out like because of the self-titled album or even before those days?
Um, Actually, it was before us getting signed. So technically, it like wasn't out, but
Right.
it was out, for like our immediate fan base and whatnot, I believe. Um, and yeah, we just hadn't partnered with a label and done all that yet. So it wasn't on like Apple Music or Spotify or anything like that. It was just sort of hard copies for our fans. But yeah, definitely in that era.
Wow. So that's really cool. I mean, that's him going way out of his way to find you guys and fall in love with you even before all the noise was made, kind of.
Definitely. And he's that type of guy. He's always discovering new music and really giving back to the little guy, things that, he just thinks is good and he likes, which is cool. And that, that's the type person, I want to be.
Hell
And
yeah.
for, we always try and put bands we like that are smaller, maybe nobody knows, but we think have potential and are badass. So you got to pay it forward, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And talking about discovery, now let's go back 25 years ago. When did you discover Disturbed?
Nice. I think I heard Stupefy on back when San Antonio actually had a decent radio or a decent radio playlist. I'll say that. They were actually playing current rock and roll and metal. Yeah, I think I can't recall of the year. I mean, it had to have been
99,
um,
2000, something like that,
yeah,
right?
yeah, 99 or 2000. When I heard Stupefy on the radio and thought it was awesome. Definitely got the record, and it still holds up today. Great album.
Yeah. I was like, how'd this guy get away with cursing on the radio with the stupefy? Like he totally broke the code.
Right? Yeah, you just kind of change the pronunciation a little bit. It's a
And
weird noise.
imagine you're having a blast out there watching them perform that album in its entirety for the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, you got that right. It's the energy is alive and real. And they do quite the performance every night.
And it's really cool because, this was technically supposed to happen 5 years ago for the 20th anniversary. We all know what happened in 2020. The world shut down. So cool
Right.
that they came back and paid it off with the 25th anniversary. And speaking of the tour, the other guy that's out there on the road with you, Daughtry, and really cool that he's part of Freefall on the deluxe edition of Carnal.
You're right. Yeah. And that's another relationship that's kind of built over the last 5 years or so. More so with Johnny and Johnny moving to Nashville and kind of him being a fan and them connecting. I think he heard all the songs like in demo stage and loved Freefall and actually asked to sing on that one. And we're like, oh, of course, dude. Yeah. So it was really, really cool. Yeah, yeah. I was just saying he's a powerhouse vocalist as well. He can do all the things a pop singer can do in regards to the diva runs and things like that, but he still has the energy and grit of a rock and metal vocalist. And it's cool to see him currently go heavy and edgier.
Yeah, and dude, I mean, the guy's work ethic. I mean, he has been working it hard, but I'm almost more impressed by like his physique, like the amount of work he does on stage as well as the amount of work he does off stage. I mean, the guy must not sleep at all.
He definitely takes care of himself for sure. And it shows. Yeah.
Big
And it's
time.
it's nice, honestly. Like he's he's a very genuine human being and that speaks a lot to his character. And just him coming to hang out and like, I can introduce him to my mom and my brother and it's awesome. It's cool. And he's just so nonchalant about the whole thing and just a nice dude. So really cool.
Well, looking forward to this show. We got you in Southern California coming to the Kia Forum on May the 13th. And, talking a little bit about Carnal as well. Kind of curious, do you have a favorite song on the album?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think my favorite song is kind of one of the segues that sort of ties into another song. The segue is called Heart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you don't know the band, we've kind of made Alan Watts our sort of philosophical mascot with a
Yeah.
lot of his excerpts and lectures. And I remember creating that one from an old, musical piece that I think I wrote in college that just never got used.
Oh, wow.
And I just really, really liked the chord progression. And it's like, well, you know what? Like, I'll just make it an instrumental. And then kind of went with that and like envisioned it sort of getting to this cool, like, sleep token type part at the end that just opens up and is glorious. And I always loved the power of the river. I just call that excerpt that. And, with life being this river, when you fight it with all the things it throws at you, it's like you're not going anywhere. You just have to roll with the punches with what life throws you and kind of learn to swim with the river and let it carry you away. And that's what that segue Heart and the song Down the River is about. Big philosophical sort of yeah, theme.
I'm glad you brought up the narration, dude, because I was going to bring that up. Like, I feel like I could listen to a whole album of just the narration all strung together, across every record, like a big compilation, like a greatest hits of narration. But I always, dude, I mean, I turn up every song anyways, but for those narrations, I find myself turning up the radio and listening a little bit harder. Like, I'm about to learn something. I'm about to have some knowledge dropped on me. Let me make sure I pay attention to this part.
Nice. Appreciate that. I some of my favorite albums kind of do something similar and have these sort of instrumentals and excerpt pieces, that it's like, I don't know, it's really cool. It makes it feel like a complete piece of work in
Yeah.
regards to an album, from start to finish. And that's always really cool. It's like the artist takes more time into, creating it instead of just like, okay, here's 10 songs.
Right.
Go. It's
You
a
know,
it's a different thing, but I appreciate you saying that. Thanks, man.
I feel like there's some sort of code that I'm still trying to unlock because all of the narrations, are kind of parenthesized on the album, and it's carnal and head and heart and sight and sound, and I feel like that like it's like a Rubik's cube that I haven't quite figured out yet. That's supposed to unlock some knowledge or some wisdom in me.
Nice. That's funny. Yeah, maybe. It's I mean, Alan Watts stuff is great. will only advocate all of his lectures to, if you want to, if you like thinking about things and how things work or why things are the way they are, or you're struggling with stress, depression, faith, all that stuff, he's your guy,
Love it, man. Love it. And talking about switching back to touring a little bit, you guys were in our neck of the woods last year, about a year ago, with Wage War at Riverside Municipal Auditorium out in the Inland Empire, about an hour east of LA. And imagine that was a great run. And I'm shocked that you guys haven't done a song yet with those guys, with Cody especially, but with the songwriter that he's become.
Very true. It's always fun working with Cody. He's a great dude, great artist. Don't get me wrong. We've actually, tried to make that happen,
Ah,
but he's pretty insistent on they don't do features. So,
hmm,
either, Britton or him or any of the guys. So at this point in their career, they're staying solo.
huh. But he's doing a ton
Yeah,
of songwriting out there, though, with
I
other
know.
artists.
Very true. He'll do that. Yeah.
And imagine that tour, that run with them went great. I mean, great package, the two of you guys out there together.
Absolutely. It was a really cohesive fit. Honestly, those are good dudes. They have great songs. They're a great live band. They're like the quintessential strong, like metal presence. And then they have these huge sing along choruses that only get better and better with time because they just get better and better as artists. So we're all about that. And I think it'd be cool to do it again. And I don't know, make a world tour out of it or something in the future.
That'd be really cool. You know, uh,
Yeah.
one other tune going back to Carnal for a second. I don't know if it's just good marketing opportunity or someone in the band's a fan, but it was really great that if it doesn't hurt being used last year in WrestleMania. And talk about WWE. Is there a guy in the band? Are you the WWE fan, or is it just good marketing opportunity and you got to take it when it's there?
I think it's just good marketing opportunity. Dude, I didn't even know until a friend texted me when we were on there. Sometimes that's how those licensing sync songs work, to where I bet you there was somebody that's like, okay, I need something for pain. All right, hurt. I'm gonna search this word. New songs, new rock bands with this, and it's like, oh, if it doesn't hurt, okay, yeah, this will work. Cool, throw it on there.
It had a big impact, man, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's got to turn some WWE fans towards the band.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It was a big impact for us. Definitely helped things and introduced us to a different new audience too, which is always great. That's something you want to be exposed to more different types of people. Um, I know Johnny and Ben are both big MMA guys,
Ah,
so those are the wrestling dudes. I got into kickboxing a couple years ago, so I do kind of like the MMA stuff, but if everybody's on the train, I don't know. I'm the guy to kind of like, okay,
ah,
I'm gonna do something different and do my own. Not to say that there's anything wrong with any of that. It's just
sure.
that's just how I am.
No, I get it, man. And there's always been that rock and wrestling connection. I mean, even Kerry King came out at this year's event and played with one of the wrestlers as he came out on stage, and Living Color played for one of the wrestlers that came out. So it's always that relationship has always been there. But dude, one other thing I wanted to get into, and I appreciate all your time. Last thing I got
Yeah.
for you, man. We're an old school radio station. We do a feature called Mandatory Metallica every night at 10 p.m., which you're going to be a
Yes.
part of. And I'm sure learning riffs growing up, skateboarding, learning all those riffs back in the day. So I've been having this little Metallica debate I want to get your opinion on.
Okay.
Me and my buddy kind of debating their greatest album, their best thrash metal album, and coming down on opposing sides. So I need you to weigh in on this one. Ride the
Okay.
Lightning versus Master of Puppets. If you had to choose one out of those two, which would it be, Mark?
Ride the lightning.
Ooh,
Um, I would definitely say lightning all the way, but it's more for sentimental reasons.
tell me
Like
why.
Fade to Black was one of the first songs I learned how to play. That intro is so pretty, so beautiful. And that solo, I was so stoked. The first solo, like I learned I think it was the first solo I learned how to play, and I was like, I can do this. This is so cool. I'm a lead guitar player. I was just so proud. And those solos that they have, I mean, they obviously existing on Master of Puppets too. That song's phenomenal. I love the SN album, S and M album where they did it. Especially all the orchestral, just just operation going on. It's so nuts. I freaking love it. And it's like my favorite version of Master Puppets by far. So special, so cool. But I would have to choose Ride the Lightning. Just it there's a special place in my heart for it.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I mean, and it's all subjective anyways. I would just kind of feel like there's a couple songs on Ride that I might kind of hit the skip button on where there's none on Master.
That's true. You're right. I mean, and Battery, will
Woo!
forever be like, oh, it is a glorious piece of music, you know.
And the way it ends with Damage Inc. too. I mean, from start to finish, they're blowing out your eardrums.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
And
But
Orion,
yeah, yeah, and but you got Call of Cthulhu too,
true.
That that's some good stuff. That's
Creeping
a
Death.
great piece of music. Yep, yeah. That was definitely yep. I learned how to play that one early on too. Uh, Fun.
Dude, so now the tough part, pick a song. Can be from any album. What song could we play for you on Mandatory Metallica? What's your favorite Metallica tune?
Great song. There's always so many to pick. I think lately within the past few years, I've changed around my answer, and I know it's an unlikely album, but I think Load is my favorite album from them.
Ooh.
And I know that's not popular and it's not, I don't know, old school or whatever, but I really enjoyed the change of sound and how they grew to me as artists. So I love that opening riff of "Ain't My Bitch." That's a great song. Um, different solo, bringing in the slide guitar and everything, which is cool. But the drum tones on that album are strong too. They're really really cool.
So you're the only guy I could do the load versus reload debate with, but you'd go load?
I would go Load. Reload does have a strong place in my heart. Learned all those songs for sure too. And Unforgiven too is a brilliant piece of work. It's again, it's cool to see them grow as artists, kind of like embrace this sort of country singer songwriter side of things. Especially like, you would never expect that from Metallica.
No.
And it's really special. And I don't know, it just like took a sequel of a song, to a whole other level that was, in my opinion, better than the original.
Whoa.
I know it's
Interesting.
hard to say. That's hard to say, and then people would be mad or whatever. But I think it was really, really cool.
So we sticking with Ain't My Bitch, or we're gonna switch to Unforgiven too?
No, we'll go "Ain't My Bitch." We'll keep it lighthearted and just rocking.
Keep it heavy.
There you go.
Beautiful, Mark. Thank you so much for the time, man. Can't wait to see you out there at the forum, and it's definitely not going to be enough songs, but I can't wait to see the
I
few that you
know.
do play.
But I will tell you, it'll be special. We're gonna include all the bells and whistles. There's definitely a special appearance from maybe somebody else that you might not expect coming out.
Ooh,
So I'm
okay.
pumped. Little teaser there.
Thank you for that teaser. Thank you for your time, man. Best of luck out there on the road, man. Safe travels.
Hell
Thank you so
yeah.
much.
See you, Mike.
Bye
Appreciate it.
bye.
Take care, bud. Bye.